Did you work there this week?
I'm working there Friday. I'm co-hosting the Daily Ticket with Brace.
Wow. There you go.
3 to 6. Give me a little cash money.
That's pretty dope. Okay, I'm time to push the pod.
Push the pot on. How do we do that? It's not on Twitter.
First of all, we stopped talking about the gambler, and then
carefully do it.
Yeah.
Oh my
Refresh.
goodness gracious! Hey, all you people!
Why isn't it showing up on Twitter?
Because it's not on Twitter. I told you that. That's why I literally asked, "How do we push?"
Oh, it's not on Twitter anymore.
No, it's not. We're on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch because obviously Stephen Conrad Jr. was kind enough to let the Liberty Line take over his YouTube account, and it's our debut stream actually on the YouTube channel. We haven't been on the YouTube channel yet, yeah, because we wanted to make sure we got the professional looking overview or overlay. We want to get that upgrade before we went because Steve keeps professional. And we try to keep it professional too. Here at the Liberty Line, here at the Wolves of Broad Street podcast, etc.
This is taking a little longer than it usually does. Sorry.
It's one of those things, It really is one of those things. But I am looking forward to getting into it. Holy cow! Facebook does live closed captions. I'm just now learning.
Really?
Yeah. If you can even believe it.
There you go.
There it is.
Alrighty. I'm pretty sure I just shared. Yeah, I did.
Believe you. I believe in you.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Philly!
Hello, everybody. Hello, Philadelphia. Welcome back once again to yet another edition of the Wolves of Broad Street podcast. As always, my name is Ryan Conway, and joining me here is my illustrious co-host and wartime consigliere, Sam Glavin. And, of course, we have our producer, Seamus G, cooking things up behind the glass for us. We're coming at you live here on the Liberty Line Podcast Network, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube.com. Just go ahead, twitch.tv/the Liberty Line. Tell your friends, copy, paste the link. Let's get it jumping. Let's have a good time. And Sam Glavin, it's great to be here. It's great to be in matching red hoodies again. We do this, and we never plan it, but it happens from time to time. Another thing that's nice is we're getting Eagles football back pretty soon. Obviously, it's been a long couple weeks without the Birds playing, and a lot's been going down across the league. And yeah, we're taking on the Washington football team at 1 p.m. at the Link. Like I said, we're not going very far at all to close out the season for these last 4 games. And at the moment, as it stands, Sam, this is a win on Sunday. This is a win on Sunday, I think, just coming right out of the gate, just because of the COVID situation with Washington. Have you been seeing that?
I have. And I mean, not only is it a win, but it just has to be a win because if they don't win this game, you can just kiss playoff hopes goodbye, which at this point, I'm not really hoping for. I mean, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's my best Phillies impression too. And it's just it's one of those. It's a huge game because they're currently ahead of us right now in the wild card spot, just because their division record is better.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, there's got to be. Did you see that there's the Gardner Minshew and Jalen Hurts are splitting reps today, or splitting reps all week?
Look,
come
so
on,
many people,
man.
dude. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. Everyone needs to calm down. This is not who can win for this team going forward. It's Jalen Hurts is injured, and we don't know if he's going to be 100% for Sunday. Plus, we're going against a team who's got like 25, 30 guys out with injuries or COVID. That's over half their roster. They've got a provisional roster pretty much loaded with practice squad guys. So do you really want to go out and risk further injuring Jalen Hurts' ankle in a game that you can win without him? I think. I personally think 100% healthy Gardner Minshew is better than a 75% Jalen Hurts, both short-term and long-term. Like, because Jalen relies on his legs a lot, scrambling around, moving in the pocket. He's got an injured ankle. Against a bad team or not. And we got Alex in the chat saying it's an easy dub, which I agree it is. We could throw our third-string quarterback in, and we probably still have a really decent chance of winning this game. So
Yeah,
but
I see what you're saying. Would I like to have Jalen Hurts start? Yes. I don't
yeah,
I
I
don't
like to
like to
watch him
have.
play.
Yeah, I do too, and I think he needs all the reps he can get. But I think it comes down to Nick Sirianni if Gardner Minshew plays. It's got to be the same thing as last week, where I
Mhm.
don't know, we saw the short on the social media that Seamus G cut up for us, which was pretty cool. That was all the game plan from Nick Sirianni was make Gardner Minshew a game manager, dink and dump, give it to Dallas Goedert, make him make the plays, maybe get Devontae Smith involved a little bit more this week, and the run game. So Nick Sirianni's just got to come out with the same game plan because we're essentially going up against a team that's the same level as the Jets right now.
Mhm.
So it's got to be the same. It's got to be pretty much the same game plan, maybe a little tweaks just so that it's not the exact same shit. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's where I think it's going to come down to Sirianni, and hopefully they don't play down to their opponent.
Yeah, that I mean that of course is that's the big question mark with this team. Obviously, is can they, keep their heads on straight, take their heads out of their asses, and just play football against a bad team and play comprehensively. And yeah, I mean
Mhm.
we got Alex in the chat saying Gardner should start, and I agree. I agree. I
Yeah,
think just get him out there. But that's the problem too, Sam. Is like you talked about, like you and I have discussed with Gardner Minshew playing well. That obviously stirs up the quarterback controversy because they're like, "Oh, look what he can do! Look what!" Even though it's obviously he's going to be playing against. If he does start this game, he'll start 2 games in a row, and there'll be one against the Jets and one against a 6-7 football team without half its roster. So that'll obviously probably pad his stats a little more and
mhm.
create more of that quarterback controversy that you and I are both not thrilled with,
It's
obviously.
perfect. Love it.
Yeah.
It's so
Of
awesome.
course, dude. It's it's
Yeah.
it's it's what WIP wants. It's in their contract with the Eagles organization.
Mhm.
I'm sure it has to be. There's got to be something going on here because I mean it's set up too perfectly for Gardner Minshew to play his way into the starting conversation, even though there's no real need to.
Yeah, and to play his way into the hearts of the city of Philadelphia because it's the energy that they like. I mean, it's not necessarily the gameplay. It's the
Mm-hmm.
energy. It's those little videos that you see of him after the game with his dad being all hype and like, "Oh
Mm-hmm.
my god, that's so cute. Oh my god, I love that. It's awesome." It's the freaking Sixers with Matisse Thybulle all over again. He's
Yeah.
a grown ass man.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Let's relax.
Let's look at the play on the
Exactly.
field before we start looking at the little videos of after, like the videos with him like getting super hype like before and after the game. Come on. Let's be realistic here.
I agree, man. I agree. And regardless of who we've got under center, we've got relative to the rest of the league, a pretty healthy roster, especially right
Yeah.
now. I mean, dude, the COVID
Mhm.
positives, like I've been getting notification on notification, seeing tweet on tweet from every possible sports league that's still going on right now in North America. It's just like, yep, like 15 guys on the Flames or whatever in Calgary got it. And then we got guys in Washington. They got 20 of those guys have sick
I
or
think the
are sick.
Bears are
It's
having problems
ridiculous.
too, right?
Everybody's having problems. The
Yeah.
Eagles somehow are avoiding this.
I have no idea. I don't
I
know
don't know what
how.
we're doing. I'm gonna knock on wood here.
Yeah, seriously.
It must have been this past weekend. Like I guess having the bye this week might have
Everybody
saved the
stayed home.
Eagles. If you think
Yeah.
about it, like the Birds, I mean, they weren't going out and playing against a team of potentially sick guys. And I'm sure that there was a lot of transmission going on this weekend with this
Uh-huh.
Omicron variant, which is just hilarious, honestly. I mean, if that's what this comes down to, like there's a very good chance that Washington football team can't field a roster and just has to forfeit the game. And those are the NFL's rules. Those are what they said. They said we're not going to reschedule. You're going to lose games. You're going to lose the
Yeah.
game if
I
you
mean,
have like so many COVID cases that you can't handle it. And while that may or may not be unfair, I mean, considering how dog shit an organization the Washington football team is, I think that's more than reasonable. If
I
they
think it
just
is too, honestly.
And
And
honestly,
I'm like,
man,
yeah.
I, I'll be real with you. If we get this game canceled and we just walk away with a win and we don't have to watch the Eagles this week, I mean, it is sad, to not have Eagles football on. But at the same time,
I'm okay with it. I'm very okay
Yeah.
with it. I mean, I think that no, I actually think it's a good rule. I mean, it forces teams to like be safe. Like you don't want to have guys like going out like on the weekends, to like clubs and stuff, and that gets a game postponed and it screws up everybody else's schedule. Be safe and
Mhm.
figure it out. Like it's like
Exactly.
be safe and play
Exactly,
some
guys.
football. This is your job. Like
It's the one
if I
thing.
had a job and I wanted to make money and I wouldn't want it to like I wouldn't want to lose that job and lose that money because I was going out and like doing stuff. So and catching
Mhm.
COVID. So I mean, it's it's just like, what do you want? Like, do your job.
Yeah. That's the thing. That's really all it takes. So, it is kind of interesting that we could be previewing a game that just doesn't happen. That's rare for the NFL. Especially last season, we saw, games get moved to Wednesday at 1 in the afternoon to avoid,
Yeah.
getting shit canceled. But now it's just like you lose. And I do,
Hmm.
I'd be fine with that. I'd be fine with that. Because I mean, who's on our injury report? Not many people at all. But then you go and you look
No.
at theirs, and it's like it's comical.
Yeah, they have what? They have 18. I think James G said in the chat here. Yeah, they have 18 on COVID-19
Yeah, and that's just
IR
on COVID.
protocol.
They've also just been injured as fuck too.
Hmm.
So it's just they've just been hit on both sides. So
That's nutty.
it's nutty. I mean, but we saw that happen to the Sixers last year. I know it's not the same sport, but it's
Uh,
good.
the Sixers. What
Hmm.
a joke. I don't want to talk about them yet. I want to talk
No,
about one more thing
not
before
yet.
we get into the doghouse.
Oh yeah, dude.
Devontae Smith. Do you play him this week? Because I
Yes.
do. I think he's
Yeah.
gonna play. Yeah.
He's got to play. This isn't rest everybody week. This is all right. Jalen Hurts is already hurt. Let him breathe a little. But,
Hmm.
Devontae Smith needs to be out there. And like you said, Jalen Hurts needs reps. Devontae Smith needs reps. I mean, we
Yeah, he
saw
does.
today, Nick Sirianni said that he's a go-to wide receiver. I'm like, you haven't gone to him. You haven't gone to him at all. And he's like,
Oh, Erie.
I know that he is a go-to wide receiver. That's my guy right there, Devontae Smith. He said that today in his press conference. It's like, okay. And Silvana said it in the chat. She's like, are you sure about that? Like, are you
Yeah.
sure you
Are you
really feel
kidding
that
me?
way?
Jalen Rager had more targets than him 2 weeks ago. Are you
Dude,
kidding
it's
me?
happened more. It's happened multiple weeks in a row that Jalen Reagor has gotten more targets than Dallas Goedert and Devontae Smith combined.
That's
Now, not against the Jets
unbelievable.
because Goddard tore him apart, but that was like the exception to the rule for the last 3-4 weeks of football. So it's
That
refreshing.
cannot happen. That cannot
It's
happen. Hey, you want to rest somebody? Rest Jalen Rager. He's been
he needs
targeted
a
a
lot
little
of
too
rest.
much. He needs some rest.
He needs to sit
Yeah.
down and
I mean,
just
I think he needs to sit down for the rest of the season. Actually,
yeah,
hit the road, Jack.
maybe
But
forever.
mhm.
I wouldn't be
Yeah, you can be
I
done
wouldn't be
forever.
surprised about that. If that's how people felt. That's
Yeah,
pretty fair.
that's all I really got on the Eagles. So, what do you got a score prediction
Score
for
prediction
this
for
week?
this, I do like 40-3 Eagles.
Mm.
Like, right? If the game gets, it's either that or a forfeit. Like, if this game gets played, the only way that it's even close is if the Eagles just play really, really, really bad football, which is always possible. But
It's the Eagles, dude. I don't
dude, we're
think
going
I'm
up
that
against like a
confident.
Conference USA team, like a team of practice squad guys does not begin to describe what Washington is. They have one of their starting defensive linemen.
I
Maybe
guess. I
one.
mean,
I think it.
yeah.
I don't think they have anybody on their starting defense.
I'm
Like
gonna
we
go
could
20.
do,
I'm gonna go 21-6.
we can do horrible things to them. We could do really nasty, nasty things to the Washington football team on Sunday. I want you to understand that. If
I'm
they
being
even let us play the game, they might have to stop the fight. They or just be like, "No, this is ridiculous." Because that's
Oh,
that's
man.
that's what it's come down to, man.
Yeah.
That's what it's become.
Shavis G is chiming in here. 300 plus yards rushing.
Dude, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. Dude, if Jalen Hurts plays, he might not. He might tuck and run every play,
Yeah,
even if it's a design pass. Like
that'd be
it's
funny.
gonna be nasty. It's gonna be
Nasty.
gross. They really should just blur it out. They really should blur it out. And post the highlights on a certain website, but not YouTube. It's going to violate parental guidance. All those things. So
They're gonna
that's
have
what
to
I
take
think
it
is
off
going to
the
happen.
air. Yeah, let's take
Yeah,
it off
dude,
the air.
they're going to have to.
Mm-hmm.
You have to find that on the onlyfans.com.
All right.
Speaking of hardwood, we're going to go in right into the doghouse, brought to you by Wide Plank Floor Supply. Visit their website at www.wideplankfloorsupply.com. Get a recommendation for a contractor. Get a quote. Wide Plank Floor Supply. If it's wide, they've got it. Just remember, folks, carpets are just one large community sock. Just remember that. Think about that. Just think about just think about wearing the same pair of socks every day for a decade. That's what a carpet is. And you're sharing that pair of socks with everybody. Go get some wide planks in your life, you sickos.
Mm-hmm.
Sam, who do you got in the doghouse?
So I was trying to re-find this tweet when I figured out that I wanted to put him in the doghouse, but it's this guy. He's a Steph Curry hater apparently, and he said that Steph Curry would never be able to last 25 minutes in a game in the 80s or the 90s. Just because of the way he plays, which is just ridiculous. Because if you've seen the way he plays, I mean, that guy never stops moving. And so basically, he said that he didn't the record doesn't mean anything. Like the 3-point record doesn't mean anything in this day and age, just because he just sits at the 3-point line. But if you see that video of him like actually like moving around the entire court, like for an entire quarter without like stopping his feet, that's just completely not true. So like Curry, the way that Curry is like. That's crazy. Oh, his name is Nick Allen. I'm just getting in the chat.
There it
here.
is.
So, that's good. Yeah, there you go. And they invited them on the Misery Report, Drew Smith and Lucci. That's funny. And also a self-proclaimed Donald Trump's favorite actor. That's pretty funny. Or author,
not actor.
Author, not actor.
Which is worse for some reason, because that means he's generating the ideas. He's not, you know, he's the one putting pen to paper. It makes it way worse. Yeah, dude, that guy's a jackass. He like tweets about how like sick America is and like how dope it is to be which like, you know, I mean, for, you know, a lot of people, America's pretty sick, but you know, everybody doesn't feel that way. It doesn't matter. It's not what we're talking about. But he's like, he just became a citizen like on Monday.
Yeah.
Like he's not like, he's from Australia fully. And he's like, you know, he's talking about like old traditional American values. And I'm just like, bro, you weren't even here, dog. Like you weren't even I guarantee you were watching rugby. You were not watching Michael Jordan play the bad boy Pistons. I guarantee you were watching rugby league.
Yeah, could you even get that out there in Australia at that time?
Probably
it wasn't
not, dude.
It wasn't streaming or anything. Like, what the fuck?
It's crazy. But yeah, make sure you like and subscribe. Go to the YouTube channel if you're not on YouTube. Just come over to YouTube. Liberty Line. The Liberty Line.
Liberty.com.
Liberty Bibberty. Yes,
Ryan,
sir.
Who you got in the doghouse?
I have I'm putting the Philadelphia 76ers in the doghouse.
Classic. Good stuff.
Because they suck. I know they're playing right now. Let me just check the score. They did lose. They did lose to the Heat.
Good.
It's crazy. It's crazy how bad the Sixers team is. Like tonight, the Heat, they didn't have Jimmy Butler. Bam Adebayo's been out for a few weeks. They got tore up by like was Dwayne Dedman and Gabe Vincent and like a 90-year-old fat ass Kyle Lowry. Literally, the Heat G League team, you know, came onto our home court and embarrassed us in front of
the City Edition uniforms.
Why do we suck in the City Edition uniforms?
Every year.
Sixers always blow in the City Edition uniforms. It's crazy. But dude, it was so clear that this game was going to be a loss from the jump. I mean, our good friend, friend of the Wolves, friend of the libertyline.com, Kevin McCormick, let us know that he saw the D'Amelio sisters, Charlie and Dixie, there, you know, when he was making his way to pregame, and he was like, nobody said that. But he was, they actually were there to ring the bell. So they went out and they rang the bell before the game, and they were booed during the game, which is like, I boo them. I boo the Sixers for greenlighting that. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know why that, like, you're going up against like a rival team. This isn't like, you're not playing the Kings. You're not playing the Pelicans. Like, you're playing the Miami Heat, who, even though they are injured, are known to be a hard-nosed basketball team. And we're getting into the season now. It's no longer early doors. We're figuring stuff out. It's December. We're getting into what our basketball team's supposed to be. And it's
You know
just like,
why they're so good? Is because they have a real coach. They have a real coach. Spoelstra's great, and he's been great for forever.
It's true.
Like, that's the key. I mean, and the Sixers neither have good players nor a good coach, so they suck. They have one good player in Joel Embiid. That's it. That's all you got.
I'm still thinking about, you know what? We'll go into the Sixers. This has been the Doghouse, brought to you by Wide Plank Floor Supply. Visit their website at www.wideplankfloorsupply. If it's wide, they've got it. Love the Doghouse. Love wide planks, especially when they're from Wide Plank Floor Supply. I mean, just think of your standard plank, all right, and just widen it.
Yeah,
that's what they got at Wide Plank Floor Supply. That's why they've got it. Sam, no fucking fences, goddammit. Sam, so here's the thing, Sam, about the Philadelphia 76ers is like they suck. They suck like big time. And it's difficult to watch. I mean, I look at, that deal that the Heat made for Kyle Lowry. And like, we were in the mix for Kyle Lowry. And it was summed up for me today watching the first half of Sixers Heat. And Shake Milton dribbles up the court and pulls up off the dribble from the top of the key and just bricks it. And then Kyle Lowry goes down to the other end, has Joel Embiid in his face, fade away over Joel Embiid's outstretched arm and drains it. And I'm like, we could have had that instead of Shake fucking Milton. Like, and we got our boy Unable 29 back in the chat saying the Sixers are the slowest fucking team I've ever seen. And they are. I swear to God, I'm watching a European League basketball team.
We don't have any athletes. No.
We have NBA athletes. I mean, they're in the NBA, but like, we don't have a Miles Bridges. We don't have anybody with any bounce that can just kind of take over the game. Everyone needs their points and their buckets manufactured for them. And because they can't create their own shot. And Doc Rivers is not the coach to do that. Doc Rivers does not have the mental aptitude to even begin to do that. I mean, you can't play slow. And here's not in the chat, it's being said as well. They're slow and they have no idea how to run a half court set. It's like, that's the whole thing, is like, if you play slow, you should be able to manufacture points.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole idea. It's like, all right, you don't have a home run hitter, play small ball, chip away, move the ball around, but no.
Was that a baseball reference there? That was pretty good.
Yeah, man.
That was pretty good. That's good. Oh, David Fox in the chat. What's going on, dude?
Trying to make the conversation accessible to everybody. Hey, yo.
No, the Sixers, straight up, we say it every week, they have the zero identity. Doc Rivers isn't helping the case whatsoever. He can't draw up the plays. He can't draw up my biggest pet peeve are inbounds plays. Like, dude. It's just here's the ball. That's it. There's nothing creative going on in the inbounds play, trying to manufacture a basket. I mean, it's laziness. It's all laziness. And you're right. They're slow and they don't have any athletes on the court. They don't have any like raw athletes or anything that they could develop into good players. They got nothing except Joel Embiid. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude, I can't believe I thought that Doc Rivers was a good hire. I really can't believe I sat there at the beginning of last season after we got Daryl Morey, after we got Doc Rivers, and I went, Doc Rivers is going to be the coach to lead this team to a title. I cannot believe I actually thought that. Because I'd watched him. Coach in LA for all those years with those great Lob City teams. Chris Paul, prime Blake Griffin. Never even made a conference finals. He's won one championship. That was in 2009 with four Hall of Famers on his team.
Terrible.
It's not, and we don't have 4 Hall of Famers. We have 1 Hall of Famer on our roster.
Yep, we have 1.
We have 1 Hall of Famer on our roster, which is, hey, that's great. That's great. I love that. Joel Embiid is amazing, but we need to get this guy some actual help.
Mm-hmm. I know.
And I understand there is a point. Like,
when is the trade deadline?
We got time. We got a couple months. I want to say it's right before or right after the All-Star break.
Daryl. Hello.
dude. Now's the time, dude. Now's the time to just kick yourself into gear, Daryl. Get your head out of your ass and just make a deal. Jaden Springer at 28 was not it. All right. Jaden Springer was not the pick. We could have gotten a young rookie that could have come in and actually started to contribute a little something off the bench. But no. So go ahead and make up for that mistake by not even Ben Simmons, honestly. Ben Simmons is not our only asset. We have players that we can trade because this is not working. I don't have any ideas, okay? I'm not an NBA GM. But now is the time that a lot of players are starting to get moved. Teams know that, all right, we suck. We're at the point where we realize we blow. Time to start trading people. Being let know here that things that happen or things are going to happen soon because the players who signed the season can't be traded now. That's the big thing. That's the big thing as well. So a lot of opportunity moving forward for the Sixers to get better, but we're not going to be doing anything at all if we're not getting any better with this roster. If this roster stays the same, I don't care if Ben Simmons comes back. We're not a good team. We're not a good enough basketball team to win a title.
We'll be worse with Ben Simmons. Worse. Yes.
No. Not true. That's the worst part, Sam. That's the worst part about this whole Ben Simmons thing. Because we're a better team with Ben Simmons on the court when it's not fourth quarter of the playoffs. 90% of the time, he makes the team better. But the other 10%, he's horrible.
I hate watching him. I hate it.
I know you do. buddy. And you've gotten a break.
I've got a break. Yeah.
I saw something today on Twitter that Ben Simmons leads the league in being photoshopped in other teams' jerseys.
Oh, that's funny. We got our boy Unable 29 in here. I honestly will kind of always wonder what the Sixers would have looked like with Ben and Joel and someone more useful as a third star than Toby. Yeah. So you and everybody else in this fucking city. I mean, he's terrible. I mean, it's just I just got sidetracked by the other comment. Yeah, David Fox. Yeah, Simmons sucks.
That's correct. Simmons does suck, and he needs to be traded, but he sucks in relative terms.
Yeah, but no, like, could you imagine if Ben and Joel, like, in the early years, if Ben maybe figured like some of his problems out, and
dude,
then
if he
Joel,
was like 5% better offensively,
and with somebody else other than Toby, like maybe I don't know.
Dude, this team, Ben,
Jimmy,
Joel.
Jimmy, Joel.
Right. That's a real basketball team. I don't know why the fuck we gave Tobias Harris $180 million.
I don't know why.
I don't know who the fuck I don't know who thought of that, because that is just so catastrophically dumb. I know that everyone in the NBA is overpaid to a degree.
Yes.
Especially there are a lot of bad players making $30 million a year. But dude, Tobias Harris is dog shit. I mean, he's just he's not consistent in any sense of the word. And right now we're forcing him to be a second star when he shouldn't even be a third star.
Yep.
That's like asking Draymond Green to be the primary option. All right. It's not going to work. You're not going to win games that way.
That worked out well for the Golden State Warriors last year, didn't it?
Yeah. That's the thing, man. That's where we're at right now. We're a playing team. We're going to be 500. We're going to be worse. I remember it was summer 2017. Colin Cowherd predicted the Sixers would win less than 40 games. And then they went on to win like 48. All right. We're going to win fewer games than that this year.
Yeah.
Back when Ben and Joel were kids that were, could barely wipe themselves on an NBA basketball court.
Mm-hmm.
At least relative to what they should be now as players. And
was that Joel Embiid's first year?
No.
Or was he not even on the court yet?
It was his first full year.
Okay.
It was going into his first full season because he got hurt. Right. Yeah. He didn't play 2 years at all. And then he played 31 games his rookie year.
Mm-hmm.
And still should have been rookie of the year over Malcolm fucking Brogdon.
So the Sixers, I haven't even been like bothered to look at the Sixers record recently. Seamus just put it in our chat. He said they are 15-14 after tonight's loss, which is crazy for a team that has Joel, Hans, and Embiid. Granted, he was out for a lot of that. He was out for a good couple of weeks there, and he's still. I mean, he's doing everything he fucking can on the court right now. I mean, what else could you ask out of Joel Embiid right now?
Not much, dude.
He's putting up 30 points a game, right? I mean, that's all you can ask out of a star player, pretty much, right? He's doing his best to facilitate as well as he can, getting boards. I mean, boards don't even matter, but
Yeah, I mean,
it's
he's literally
just
7-2. We better be getting fucking 10 boards a game.
mhm.
But I'm looking at the box score right now, and I know that's a dangerous game that people like to play. But Embiid tonight, I mean, he had 17 points, but Tyrese had 27, and Tobias had 24.
Who had
Losing by
27?
5. Tyrese Maxey.
Oh, wow. Good for him.
But also, for them, they had Gabe Vincent, who is, he's actually not bad. He was on that Nigeria team that beat the U.S. in the Olympics.
Yeah, I remember watching that game, and I was incredibly pissed off when they lost.
Yeah, it was rough. He hit like 7 threes tonight, which is, hey man, hey look, it's almost like maybe some elite perimeter defense is something that this team is lacking. Also, when Joel Embiid is leading the team in assists, Tyrese Maxey had 5, Joel Embiid had 5, so I guess they tied, but still shouldn't be happening.
No, he's a center.
He's not, Jokic. He doesn't play the Jokic role. He doesn't want to. He's not point Embiid. That's not his thing. But he literally has to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
He just has to. Yes, he does more for his team than any other player. On defense, he's protecting the rim. It's tough, man.
Their record with Embiid. That's a good point. Their record with Embiid is still well over 500, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, but it's the NBA regular season. You play hard, you win 40 games.
It's true. You're right. You're right. That's why I hate the NBA. I can't stand the NBA, dude. It's all dog shit.
Hey, man.
Everybody's overpaid. It's not fun to watch anymore. It's terrible. I don't know.
You could say that about any sports league.
About the overpaid thing, or it's not watchable?
Both.
I mean, I don't think the NFL is unwatchable.
Yeah, but some people do. Some people are weird, man.
Really? That is weird.
You know what? Keep politics out of it.
So we got a question in the chat here. What do y'all think the record is going to be at the end of the season? I don't know. Ryan's probably the better guy to ask than that, and I'll throw
probably like 42 wins. I don't see more than 45 wins though. I don't. I mean, maybe this, but that's the thing. Things can change. There's the one big domino that we're waiting for to fall. We're waiting for this Ben Simmons situation to resolve itself.
It's down to Daryl Morey.
It's true. If we move him and we get some, quality players, that's gonna light a fire under everybody's ass. And ideally there'll be players that'll fit and improve the team. So they'll be better immediately, I would assume, when they just have a player, $30 million worth of players when they have them on the roster.
Or they have an organization that shows a little bit of initiative. Hey, like maybe we can fill the car up with gas a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Like if they play, if they're the players see like an organization that cares about like the actual production of the team, maybe the players will be like, hey, why don't we just go on a run and we can maybe get the thing going a little bit. Who knows? It's up to Daryl Morey, man. It's all up to Daryl.
It is. That's what it comes down to. I mean, we can bitch about, the guys we have. I mean, they're just not good enough to win. Most of them are just not what we need. And when we're missing an all-star, I guess we're not paying him $30 million, but we can't pay someone else $30 million to do that same job. Mm-hmm. So it's just, it really is. I mean, and yeah, we can even blame Doc Rivers for being a shitty coach with horrible body language that seems like he doesn't even want to be here half the time, because that's certainly an issue. But, when you're just when you're players and you're not being supported, when you're a coach and you feel like you're being given dog shit teams, maybe it's a little hard. So it really does come down to the organization. It's like, I understand that you guys want to show Ben Simmons who's boss. And, the league is, probably on your side because they don't want this player empowerment thing to get out of hand. But Ben Simmons he's got to go. And you got to do something. People are talking about, Daryl Morey's talking about, if we don't trade Ben Simmons for a difference maker right now, like we can have him on the bench for 4 years. It doesn't matter. Like we don't want to waste Joel Embiid's prime. And I'm just like, you're going to do it anyway. You're doing it right now. By not
his prime. He's in his prime. He's towards the end of his prime at
We
this
don't
point.
have a lot of time left.
Mm-hmm.
We do not have a lot of time left. And I understand Daryl Morey doesn't want to fold. He's the smartest guy in the room. Blah, blah, blah. He's a fucking wizard. Go out and make the moves that make this team better. Please, for the love of God.
Mm-hmm.
For the love of God. It doesn't have to be right now. You have 2 months. There's a trade deadline for a reason. But something's going to have to give if we think this team has any shot of making any noise in the playoffs.
Yeah.
If you're struggling, if you're 500 in the regular season, and you don't have LeBron James and 2 other All-Stars, odds are you're not going to, make a lot of noise in the playoffs. Sorry, that's just the way it goes.
Yeah, and Seamus is chiming in the chat here. Howie 2.0 question mark. Hey, I see the same thing in Daryl Morey that I've been seeing in Howie Roseman for years now. You see flashes of greatness, right? You see the stuff that Daryl Morey was doing last year, or towards the beginning, right? Trying to get the team going a little bit, a couple extra pieces here and there, right? Seth Curry, Dwight Howard, getting the thing going, changing the culture a little bit, bringing in Doc Rivers, which we were excited about initially. That was Howie and Danny Green. You're right. And that was Howie's Super Bowl year, making moves in the draft, getting guys receivers, getting the defensive back, getting the defensive lineman in order. And now Howie is in the doghouse along with Daryl Morey. It's always flashes of good things, and then a lot of sitting on your ass and doing nothing, and then another flash of greatness, and then you sit on your ass for another 5 years. I'm sick of it.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be interesting to see how this goes because I'm getting sick of waiting for the Sixers to be something they're not. So hopefully we'll get a turnaround by the trade deadline. We get some new guys in because it's just not working. It's just not when you get, dude. Some guy named Max Strus had 9 points tonight. PJ Tucker had 12. Exactly. This guy Omer Yurtsevin had 5 points in 12 minutes. That's the margin of victory that they had. They're missing Tyler Hero, Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Oladipo, and Markieff Morris. And we were missing Ben Simmons and Furkan Korkmaz on our home court. We can't win. It's not.
It's down to the organization and the coach.
Yep.
Awful. I don't want to talk about this shit.
Every sector of the organization right now is bad. Every single part of it is bad, and it can be fixed. That's the thing. We're not in dire straits right now. That's what I'm not. This isn't doomsday forever, but it's starting to. I'm starting to feel the chair get a little hot. The tie's getting a little tighter around my neck as I sit and I wait for something to happen. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for the. It's going to do it for the Sixers. Seamus G, you feeling talking a little stick talk here because the Flyers have turned it around. Some shit's been going down in the world of ice hockey here in Philadelphia. And of course, Sam and I don't know what the fuck we're talking about. So we bring in resident stick talk expert Seamus G, producer behind the glass, exits stage and enters stage right.
How we doing, boys?
Doing well, buddy.
Just a little update. I think it's been 2 weeks since we last talked.
We forgot about you last week. Sorry, dog.
It was getting ugly, man. It was getting ugly last week.
No, it was getting ugly. It was getting really ugly. So here's the process. So we had 10 straight losses. Then Twitter got on this bag phenomenon after a dog shit on the logo, and we were excited about it. So that just shows you the state of the team. And then we're now in a 3-game win streak, which has been pretty fun. And I don't know. I do like the whole Broad Street bag movement. I know it's cliche, corny, sappy, whatever you want to say, but it's fun. Gives me a reason to wake up in the morning. It's something to do. When I'm scrolling through the Twitter feed, it's not just, I can't believe that Claude Giroux isn't earning his keep as a captain. We can't even trade him because he doesn't have a trade clause. We have Kevin Hayes for 7 years, 5 more. I can't believe it.
Do we really have him for that long?
Yeah, we have him for 5 more years, which is why I think we should make him captain. He's a good locker room guy. I know it's a hot take. I know it's a hot take, but I don't know if Claude Giroux can't keep these guys together. It's not Claude Giroux's first 10-game losing streak.
No,
all I'm saying.
He's been around.
First one.
He's been around for all of the issues that this team has had in the last decade.
Yeah,
and he's been. I mean, there was that one season. I think maybe it was like 2017. He had that one like MVP caliber season, like close to it, like 100 points. But the team sucks, so he didn't win. And but then he hasn't really, and he's been good this year. He's been scoring.
A terrific hockey player. He's a terrific hockey player. His assist to Cam Atkinson last night was terrific. It was beautiful. Shout out Cam Atkinson for the Hattie. He potted 3. Really great. But this team is just, I don't know. JVR is probably like in my doghouse. He's on his hot streak right now. But man, he's
this
like
classic JVR.
He's the Reese Hoskins of this team. He is hot. He's hot for like a good month. He'll score 12 goals in 15 games, have like 20 points. It'll be terrific. It'll be so much fun. And then just for 30 games, just like
for 33.
For 33. Just unbelievable stats. Just like Tony Snell in that one Twitter image type stats. Like,
dude, I do love that phenomenon. It's like 20 minutes or more, just no
0
stats,
points, 0 assists, like 0 hits, 0 block shots, like horrible game.
Yeah.
Awesome. So to summarize,
in conclusion,
to summarize what I've been saying, I would like to debut a possible segment on the Wolves of Broad Street. Which I am workshopping the title, but I believe it should be called Seamus Says. And I've written a poem to the Philadelphia Flyers. And this one is titled In My Bag. Give me a chance. Let's face it, the Broad Street bullies are no more. There is no amount of grit, t-shirts, or bags to cover our shame. The season's not over yet. There's still 54 ways to break our backs like Bane. Even if heart is in the right place, this team will find a way to lose in disgrace. A long, grueling rebuild feels imminent. With a squad like this and owner like that, it's hard not to feel a whole lot of malcontent. Wait a sec. 3 in the bag. Shout out Cam, who potted a Hattie. I'm back again. Damn. So,
bravo.
Let us know in the comments what you think. If we should keep doing this sort of thing. Do you like Seamus Says? This shitty, shameless poetry from the producer could be a staple segment. Who knows? Who knows? But
I like it.
I had fun. I had fun writing it. You know, it was something to do, pass the time during finals. But yeah. So that's the state of the Philadelphia Flyers.
There you go.
James,
very own Seamus G.
Seamus
Love
Says
that.
Verdict seems to be in here.
Thank you.
Love Seamus Says. That's awesome. Good stuff.
Well, gentlemen, till next time.
That was, ladies and gentlemen, that's our producer, Seamus G. Seamus Glavin, obviously. Mm-hmm. Just gets redundant in the intro to say Glavin 2 times.
I know. Well, that's the whole reason that we did it.
It's the whole reason I did it.
3 years ago.
I panicked under the gun 2 years ago.
In our test run of this show. It wasn't even in like the real thing.
I don't even think we were really recording.
Yeah. It was like our 30-minute thing we did on voice memos one time. And we were like, can we actually do this? And yeah.
Here we are. All right, James, thanks for popping in, talking a little hockey. Sam, that's going to do it for this episode here of the Wolves of Broad Street podcast. Give the good people the send off. And don't forget this little tidbit of information on the bottom left
Yeah, I was looking at it right away. So thank you everybody so much for listening to this edition of the Wolves of Broad Street podcast. Don't forget to download the Park Sportsbook app and bet with us today. Sign up with promo code Wolves69 with a $25 deposit. You can get up to a $500 risk-free bet. Check out the Liberty Line, thelibertyline.com, at LibertyLinePHL on Twitter. Check out all of our social media stuff at Wolves of Broad ST on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Don't forget to buy a t-shirt, and you can follow us at Sam Glavin06, at Ryan Conway 76, and at Shamelessly SG. Seamus G, close us down, buddy.